Pokemon Heart Gold with only Vulpix was a fun challenge to do, but we couldn't really do anything against Red towards the end. I wanted to do another solo challenge run to redeem myself from the battle against Red, so I decided that I will do a Pokemon Fire Red playthrough with only a Spinda. Spinda is a decent Pokemon, although it only has a base stat of 360, which is much higher than Vulpix's. All the EVs are evenly spread between all attributes. The learner set isn't much to speak of either, but if I get a hand on some of those TMs throughout the playthrough, this run should be a lot easier. I'm going to be using the same rules as the Vulpix challenge, but if you haven't seen that video, I'll also explain the rules here. The first rule is that I'm not allowed to use any items in battle, excluding held items and Pokeballs. The second rule is that only Spinda can be used in combat. However, I can catch and use other Pokemons as HM slaves. Without anything further to do, let's begin the run. I begin to play through with a girl character and name myself Designer, and name the rival Good. I would like to mention that I replaced Charmander with Spinda using the Universal Pokemon Randomizer. I replaced the Charmander because I think that Blastoise is going to be the most challenging starter. I named this Spinda Panda. The first rival battle went well. Spinda had Uproar, which took out the Squirtle without much issue. Viridian Force was no problem, and after clearing it I went to the optional rival battle against Good. Pidgey went down in 3 feint attacks, which Panda learns at level 12, and Squirtle also goes down in 3 hits. My first attempt with Brock was at level 14. Geodude went down in 3 hits. At first, Panda was faster than Onix, but then Onix hit a Rock Climb, which slowed Panda down. Onix was now faster, but started to use Tackle instead, which did less damage, and they kept trading hits until Panda eventually won. When I made my way to Cerulean City, I went to challenge Good as soon as I could. Pidgeotto went down with 3 hits, but brought me down by 20 health. Rattata went out next and was taken down with 2 Uproars. Panda is now at half health against Squirtle. Due to Pidgeotto's sand attacks earlier, I missed 2 turns. I stuck myself into an Uproar while Squirtle withdrew, raising his defense. Panda keeps missing turns and eventually went down, getting KO'd by a Squirtle. After the loss against Good, I went to fight Misty and her trainers to grind. Misty leads with a Staryu, and long story short, she brought me down to 1 HP before Staryu gets knocked out. I really have to grind. So while I'm grinding, I'll explain my strategy for the battles. So Spinda learns Hypnosis at level 23, and basically what I want to do is just get lucky so I can hit it on like the first or second turn and be able to take out both of the battles without much issue. I re-challenge Misty, and the first thing I do is spam Hypnosis, and it missed twice, but on the third time it hit, and I was able to knock down Staryu. Starmie was out next, and I got really lucky as Hypnosis hit on the first try, and I was able to take it down easily using feint attacks. After the gym battle with Misty, I went back to fight Good again. Pidgeotto went down with 2 side beams, thanks to a lucky critical hit. Rattata went down to red HP after 1 side beam, and was taken out the next turn. Squirrel tanked the side beam much better than I thought he would, and tail flipped me. I tried putting it to sleep and he fell asleep on the second hit. After putting it to sleep, I was able to take it down without much issue. Abra, the last Pokemon, went down with a single feint attack. I made my way to the SS Ant to fight a rival Good again. He leads with Pidgeotto, which surprisingly went down with 1 Dizzy Punch. Raticate was out next, also going down to a single Dizzy Punch. Kadabra went down with a single feint attack. Wartortle was the only Pokemon not to get 1-hit KO'd, but survived with red health and went down the next turn. I didn't think that the rival battle would be so easy. Surge was swept by Dizzy Punch. Voltorb and Pikachu went down 1 hit, and Raichu survived 1 hit of like 1 HP, and went down easily after. I go to challenge Erica next. Her Victory Bell survived Panda's side boom with little health, and was able to hit Stun Spore on Panda. Erica healed the Victory Bell, but it went down shortly after. Tangela also barely survived, getting into red health from a Dizzy Punch, but went down in the next hit. Vileplume, another Pokemon survived on low HP, and I was unfortunate enough to get power hacked towards the end, but I was able to take out Vileplume and win the battle in red health. Before the gym, I went to collect Eevee and evolved into a Vaporeon since we will need a water type for Surf at some point. But I also need to catch 30 different types of Pokemon so that I can get the Dowsing Machine, or the item finder in this game. I need this so I can pick up the leftovers from a Snorlax after the battle. The Giovanni fight in Team Rocket Hideout wasn't difficult. His Onix and Rhyhorn went down very quickly without doing any damage. Kangaskhan got a critical fake out, and tail whipped Spinda. Spinda attacks hits very well, and the battle was finished. The rival battle in the tower was next. Good led with a Pidgeotto, which went down in 1 Dizzy Punch. Growlithe was out next, which went down in 1 feint attack. Then Execute went down 1 feint attack, and Kadabra, and then Wartortle. I wasn't able to catch the first Snorlax, which means that I can't get at the leftovers. But that's okay. I tried catching the Snorlax, but it didn't go well, so I just ran away from the battle. The battle with Coco went smoothly. His first Coughing went down with 1 side beam, and I was able to put Muk to sleep on the first try. Muk only used Minimize once, and thankfully I didn't miss. Muk's Minimize is a pain, and even though I had a feint attack, it didn't do much damage. The Coughing and the Wheezing would go down with no issue. I also noticed that the invisible walls have white pixels at the edges of their sprites, which is kinda neat. My next cop was Silph Co. I had another battle against Good. Good started off with his Pidgeot as usual. Dizzy Punch took out a good chunk of his health, but didn't knock it down on the first turn. I lost a bit of health from Wing Attack and took out Pidgeot the next turn. Growlithe was out next and intimidated Panda, and it was also able to get a Flame Wheel hit. Execute goes down in 1 feint attack, and Alakazam follows suit. Blastoise was bulky, but its bite didn't do a lot of damage, and with that, I was able to be good at Silph Co. I picked up the Lapras after the battle, and with that I had 30 Pokemon entries in the Pokedex, meaning that I can get the Dowsing Machine, or the item finder, in this game, and get the leftovers from the next Snorlax. After that I went to battle Giovanni. He led with a Nidorino, which survived Side Boom with like 2 HP and got confused. He hits a Poison Sting, and unluckily enough, I got poisoned. Nidoqueen was out next. I went down with 2 Side Beams, and she also hit herself in confusion, which was lucky. Kangaskhan went down in 2 Dizzy Punches. Rhyhorn was the last Pokemon. He missed his Fury Cutter, allowing me to win the battle with 10 HP at the very end. If he hit his Fury Cutter, or if Nidoqueen didn't hit herself in confusion, I would have lost the battle and had to restart. Even though I wouldn't use the leftovers against Sabrina now, I went to get them anyway. I still kept the black sunglasses on for Sabrina. Sabrina leads with a Kadabra, which goes down to a critical feint attack. Mr. Mime was sent out next, and I survived barely and used Calm Mind. It didn't have a chance to hit me at all because I was able to quickly take it out after I got healed. Venomoth, which is a poison type, goes down with 1 Psybeam. Alakazam, the last Pokemon, was sent out and was actually able to hit Panda with Psychic and hit it for 56 damage out of 158, and even lowered special defense. I was worried now, but it was too late for Sabrina to win the battle, with Alakazam going down on the next turn. I go challenge Blaine. He leads with a Growlithe and immediately intimidates Panda. Psybeam does half health and Growlithe hit a Fire Blast. Thanks to the leftovers, Panda got most of his health back after taking out Growlithe. Ponyta was out next, and it barely survived the Dizzy Punch and hit another Fire Blast. Rapidash was out next and went down to 1 critical Dizzy Punch. Arcanine was the last Pokemon. I missed Hypnosis twice, and Fire Blast took nearly half of Panda's total health. Blaine used a full heal after putting Arcanine to sleep. At that point I realized that Hypnosis wasn't going to work, so I decided to change my strategy up a bit. I replaced Hypnosis with Dig. The strategy in the battle didn't change much otherwise except for Arcanine. When Arcanine was finally out, Panda was basically full health and I used Dig. Dig didn't do a lot of damage, but Fire Blast hit a critical hit and nearly knocked out Panda in 1 hit. At this point I was really worried, but I had no other choice but to use Dig. And luckily enough, Panda got a crit of his own and knocked out Arcanine fully. For Giovanni, I replaced Dig with Big Break, since Dig doesn't do a lot of damage, and an Earthquake will do more damage when I'm underground. Giovanni leads with a Rhyhorn, which goes down to 2 Brick Breaks. Nidoqueen was out next. Panda used Psybeam and brought it down to red health. Thankfully, Nidoqueen got confused and hit herself. Giovanni healed Nidoqueen but wasn't able to get a hit off in the end. Nidoking was next and went down with a Psybeam, not before getting healed though. Dugtrio was next and went down with a single Brick Break. Giovanni's last Pokemon, the Rhyhorn, decides to use Scary Face instead of actually attacking, and at the end was still slower than Panda. The last rival battle before the champion was no challenge. As usual, Good led with a Pidgeotto, which went down in 2 Dizzy Punches. Rhydon was out next, also going down in 2 hits. The leftovers were countering any damage these Pokemon did, so Panda was basically near full health the whole battle. Growlithe was sent out next and intimidated Panda. It went down with 2 Psybeams. Execute went down with 1 Feint Attack, and Alakazam couldn't hit me before it was knocked down as well. Blastoise, the last Pokemon. He tanked Brick Break very well. Even though I know Panda was intimidated, Brick Break didn't do as much damage as I thought it would. He sets up a Brain Dance later on and uses Water Gun. I tried using all the other moves in my move pool, but they did just like the same amount of damage. As he spams Water Gun, I slowly take down his health. Blastoise eventually gets knocked out with Panda surviving in red health. While I'm going through Victory Road, I'm going to quickly plug my Twitch channel. I'm currently doing a Pokemon X Nuzlocke stream, so if you want to check it out, then you can click the link in the description. There's also my Twitch channel on screen, twitch.tv/Rasburr. You can follow if you want, or you can, or you don't. Doesn't really matter. I got through the Victory Road, and Panda's level 72. I don't think I can get through the Elite Four for now, and I don't even know if I'll get through Lorei. I'm just gonna try. And yep, I was right. I couldn't even beat Lorei in my first attempt. I know I made some really poor choices throughout the battle, but it's clear to me that I can't even win at such a low level. For every 2 levels I gained during grinding, I would go and attempt to beat Lorei again. My first successful attempt was a level 78. Pokemon was a Dugong, which went down in 2 Brick Breaks. Cloyster was sent out next. I went down with 3 hits. It did set up a Hail and Spikes though. Slowbro, the 3rd Pokemon, was sent out and I was really worried about this Pokemon. But Panty got a critical feint attack and 1-hit KO'd it. Lapras was then sent out next and also went down with a critical hit. Jinx, the final Pokemon, did put Panda to sleep, but we woke up and took it out with a feint attack before it took us out. I got really lucky against the Lapras and the Slowbro. The battle against Bruno was surprisingly easy. Onyx missed the first Rock Tomb, so he went down without me even losing any health. Hitmonchan was out next and failed to counter, going down quickly too. Hitmonlee was out next and brought Panda down to half health, but also went down very quickly. Machamp was out next, and I started to worry when Psybeam did less than half health. I got really lucky and Cross Chop missed. Machamp was snaking out. The second Onyx, being the last Pokemon, went down in 2 Big Breaks. The battle with Agatha was next. She led with a Gengar. She heals up Gengar after getting it to red health, but still went down in the next turn thanks to a critical feint attack. Golbat was sent out next and was gone in 2 side beams. Arbok was next and intimidated Panda, but it didn't really matter since I was only using side beam and feint attack. The second Gengar was sent out. They put Panda to sleep and then locked him to a nightmare. We thankfully woke up after 1 turn and brought Gengar down to red health. Agatha healed Gengar but was still taken out. Haunter, the last Pokemon, decided to use Mean Look for some reason, even though Panda is the only Pokemon in the party. And with that, Agatha was beaten. Lance, however, proved to be too difficult as of now, with Panda going down to Dragonite. I'm only level 80 right now though, and with a bit of grinding and luck, and a change of strategy, I think it's very doable to get past Lance. At level 91 I reached Lance again. Before going to the battle, I replaced Dizzy Punch with Strength, and Side Beam with Psychic. Also, since you can buy Brick Break in Celadon City, I could just relearn Brick Break all the time. Lance leads with a Gyarados that has Intimidate. I take it down to red health in 2 hits while he uses Dragon Rage. Lance heals Gyarados. I used Brick Break once to save PP on Strength for some reason, so Gyarados ended up taking 4 hits instead of 3. But he did survive with like 1 HP, so I guess I just got unlucky. Aerodactyl was the second Pokemon. Panda is faster, and Aerodactyl was a scary face, so he didn't do anything. Dragonite was sent out next and used Safeguard, meaning that I can't get a critical hit. This Dragonite would have taken 3 hits to take out, but had a Citrus Berry. That extra turn costed us a lot of HP because of the Outrage, and I was a bit over half health when Dragonite was taken out. Dragonair was taken out with 2 strengths, not before getting hit with Dragon Rage though. And the final Dragonair was taken out in the same way. I decided to save right before the champion battle, and lost in the first try. On the second try, I wanted to destroy the champion. I had a TM for return and double team the whole time, but I just didn't use them because Panda would be too OP otherwise. However, I wanted to destroy good for, ironically enough, all the evil they have done. I forgot that strength can't be removed, so I just settled for double team. I replaced Brick Break since it has elite type coverage in the battle, only being useful against Rhydon. Pidgeotto was sent out first. I can't set up double team because of Aerial, so instead I just used strength to take it out in 2 turns. Alakazam was sent out next, and that is when I decided to set up my double teams. After the 6 double teams, I took out Alakazam in 2 hits. However, it did set up a Reflect. Executor was a third Pokemon and was taken out with a feint attack. It tried hanging me with Slip Powder, but it missed. Rhydon was next, and surprisingly enough, it hit a move. It hit Scary Face. But it did go down in 2 Psychics, so. Arcanine was the second last Pokemon, and hit me twice with a Flamethrower, bringing me down to half HP. Blastoise was the only Pokemon between me and winning the challenge. He set up a Rain Dance, then hit a Hydro Pump, bringing me down to red health. On the next turn, he thankfully missed Hydro Pump, and was brought down to red health using Psychic. Psychic also brought down Blastoise's special defense. Good healed Blastoise, but I was able to get out much quicker thanks to the lower defense. And with that, I beat good and completed the challenge. Panda was registered into the Hall of Fame at level 92. This challenge was fun, I'm really happy that I beat it, but it was a bit too easy. This video is also a bit late, but I still hope you guys enjoyed it anyway. I'll be doing more challenge videos in the future, so if you'd like to see more of those, make sure to hit a like and subscribe. Thank you.